100.
99.
98.
97.
96.
95.
94.
93.
92.
91.
90.
89.
88.
87. 86.
85.
84.
83. 82.
81.
80.
79.
78.
77.
76.
75.
74.
73. 72.
71.
70. 69.
68.
67.
66.
65.
64.
63.
62.
61.
60.
59.
58.
57.
56.
55.
54.
53.
52. 51.
50.
49.
48.
47. 46.
45.
44.
43. 42.
41.
40.
39.
38.
37.
I'm 36.
35.
34.
33.
32.
31.
30.
29.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22.
21. 20 seconds.
19.
18. 17.
16.
15.
14.
13. 12. 11. 10.
9.
8.
7.
6.
5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0.
Mattel introduces the Battlestar Galactica collection. You can imagine the world of Battlestar Galactica, where the Cylon Raider meets the Colonial Viper starship you assemble.
Colonial Viper pilot ready for takeoff. Cylon's approaching. Check stabilizers. Load laser torpedo. Cylon Raider missile base open. Cylon Raider launch. Colonial Viper launch.
Colonial Viper and Cylon Raider vehicles from the Battlestar Galactica collection, each sold separately. New from Mattel.
All right, folks, let's talk Mando. What a freaking mess of a show this has become. I also have the story that's just popped up with Jon Favreau's interview. So if any of you want to talk about that, that is actually an option as well. I was sort of shocked that this kind of came out the way it did. No, Bobby. Hey there, first off. Hope you're doing well. I've been talking about on Star Wars. No, I don't. Got to be honest. I try not to get too caught up in a lot of the other folks, especially like all the reviews and stuff. I haven't watched anybody else's review on Mando episode 6 yet. I don't know. I don't really get too caught up with some of the rumors. I only run off of actual interviews and things like that that hit like the actual website stuff. The rumoring part, I don't really get into too much, but you know, it's fun fodder. So yeah. And Bobby, by the way, I'll put a link if you want to come up in here anytime. You always let me know, man. You're always welcome. Zach's my brother. Hope you guys are going all right, man. Just let me know how are things going, man. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, this is the kind of a story that has kind of evolved over the last couple days. Bounding Into Comics did an article, and it's basically quoting this article, which is out of Esquire. So this is why Jon Favreau reunited the Mandalorian and Grogu in before season 3 began. So this is pretty much what we're going to start with a little bit here. So let me go to this. Yeah, folks, if you want to come up in here at all, you guys let me know, and we'll hit you up with that link. I have no problem opening the door, especially if you're already a member, Zach. So you're going to hear pieces of this interview being quoted around the net. So before we get to episode 6, I really kind of want to go through that episode. It generally starts off with just like generic stuff. And at the top part, you have to keep scrolling down for a while, get past all these ads. And then, you actually get to him talking about, the Grogu and Mando and Boba Fett. And then it says, they ask him basically, like, how did we end up with like Mandalorian season 2.5? And he basically says, no, I take full responsibility. So he's going to fall on the sword with this, which I think I was kind of shocked. Like, I got to be honest. I've kind of said this, like his name is attached to writing every single episode. Like this isn't something where he's going to be able to sort of like dip and dodge or whatever. It's like, the blemishes of how bad this show is really is going to be on him. So, and he says, quote, I take full responsibility for everything people like and don't like in this show. There's no outside pressure from me from the studio, Lucasfilm, Disney, anyone. There's pressure from within on whether or not something feels right. Don't forget that, if it feels right or not. We challenge each other on whether something feels like it's authentic to Star Wars, like the Pirates, maybe. And it feels like it's consistent with the things that came before, like the Pirates, maybe, or Baby Yoda itself. A lot of what you're seeing is us embracing complications that come with the choices that we make in our storytelling. Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, you definitely have made choices that are, what a mess. They ask how so, and talks about the Mandalorians. And by the way, they don't remove their helmets. But then in Clone Wars, everyone's helmets are coming off all the time. Well, right, because you have never defined what the Mandalore religion rules are going to be and why. It's like there's no Bible. No one. I don't get the impression that they have thought this through. They've stuff that's been thrown against the wall for so long that no one has any of these things sort of kind of like piecemealed together in a way that makes sense and will hold up. So Bobby says this first 2 seasons of Mandalorian also had a series called Gallery where you got to see Favreau talk about behind the scenes and them doing the show, so you could see how passionate he was about it. I know, I understand. I agree. I'm not saying the dude's not passionate. I just think that the ship has kind of sailed, to be honest. Like he's just not got the edge that he once had. And I don't think I think he's kind of following on the sword a little bit here for the company. I'm not going to say that there's pressure because the appropriate follow-up question is, what do you mean by pressure? Right? You getting producer notes? Is there a difference between Chapek versus Iger? What is the pushback from your directors? Why is there no cohesiveness within a single episode, let alone episode 2 episodes? Like just all of it is just a mess, right? So he kind of goes through all of that. And then he says, all of these are leading to these situations and obstacles that have to be overcome and give us lots of dramatic inspiration. Blah, blah, blah. We'd like to do adventures, basically. And he goes back to Mando 2.5, right? Maybe I took a page out of my own experience with Marvel, but it seems the audiences are really savvy now. They communicate with one another, and there's lots of ways to get background. And if there's any confusion, it's also the fact that everyone sits down side by side on Disney Plus. You could reference episodes if you want to, and we'll do recaps. So it basically is like the Marvel problem. Like, so this isn't the good part of Marvel. When he talks about he took a page out of his Marvel experience, this isn't the good part of Marvel where there was the whiteboard plan and things were thought out and things kind of make sense. This is the worst part of Marvel where we'll throw anything against the wall to get anywhere we want to go, do anything we want to do. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. It doesn't matter if it undoes something that came before. It's just that is literally the worst part of the Marvel cinematic universe, and that is kind of what, to me, I felt like he was actually referencing there, but I could be wrong. At least that's how I feel with watching the shows. The shows are just a hodgepodge mess of things that get thrown against the wall, as you're going to see with episode 6. It's just completely insane. So the article goes on, talks about just nonsense. It's just bland nonsense. It's almost like filler answers of stuff. We don't have to spend so I hate this line. We don't have to spend all the screen time watching each of them pining over feeling somehow unsatisfied with their lie. We see them being restored by their reunification. I want to see them actually show any feelings. Pining over feeling somehow unsatisfied in their lives. Does anyone get any impression from this show that anyone has feelings of unsatisfaction? Where's the feelings? I mean, obviously you have the helmets on most of the time, most of these characters, right? But Bo-Katan has been reduced to these very stoic cardboard scenes where she has no expressions. And then it's like, in this episode, you're going to see she's on the train and she just in the little shuttle and she just goes, we'll figure out when I get there. What? Yeah. Okay. They already jumped to season 4, right? Quote, I have certain images and thoughts about where things are going deep in the future. I wouldn't say that it's a roadmap that I could tell you every steps to get there, but Dave Filoni and I, and Dave works for Lucasfilm. So he has backstage views into all the other projects, not just the ones we're doing, like Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, Mandalorian, Acolyte, but all the other projects too. So if you think that Dave and you think the John Dave team is changing, nope, no time soon. Zach's really can't disagree. There's some really cool concept art, and you see it, and again, each episode, even if it is where those TIE fighters come from, you get little nuggets of things that have been entertaining and moments that are kind of fun. You feel Star Wars for moments, but again, they're usually wrapped in crap. They're usually wrapped with, it's just garbage. And then there's like sprinkles. So we're supposed to just take it. So you guys got TIE fighters. You got Zeb. Aren't you excited? Don't you understand how great this show is? Oh. And that's kind of the interview. I think the biggest things you're going to take from it is maybe this one a little bit about Dave Filoni, but mostly that he's basically saying he doesn't have any pressure from these other places, these other outside sources at Disney or anything like that. I don't think there was any other quotes in the other. There's a couple other articles going around. I didn't think there was really anything that I thought was particularly that revealing per se. I find that these people are really going after trying to find ways to get clicks. So they will find certain sentences and they'll find little phrases and they will try to magnify that into something that is this massive thing that it's just not there. So Troy, hey brother, hope you're doing all right. All I have to say, Jon Favreau has completely checked out. I think he stopped caring a long time ago. Yeah, he's doubling down on season 4 and working with Filoni and then keep going. So this interview I just pulled up with Esquire, he's trying to say, nope, I'm not getting any pressure. Now, no one's asking him like, what do you mean by pressure? But this episode, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. So. And Troy, I don't know if you saw this episode or not. So, let me know. Age Boomer, hey, brother. Great to see you guys up in here. If you guys want to join me, you're more than welcome. Just give me a little thumbs up or something like that, and I'll throw you guys a link. Quick twat, so I can have it handy in case you guys do, because I can throw a link in there too. But yeah, things are crazy. I'm still practicing with the YouTuber thing and the restream connections and those kinds of things. So yeah, bear with me. So Troy says, yes, cool. Let me get a link. And I don't know. Before we get into the show itself, here's Troy. A link for you there, brother. Send that out and yeah, let's have some fun, man. Let's do this. Age Boomer. I have you. You're not in my. Here you are. Boomer, how am I not following you on Twitter? This is really messed up. So you'd have to follow me back, I guess, to make that connection. So I will say this about Restream. I do appreciate the fact that it gives me a little bloop bloop in my earbuds so that I can know that Troy is here. How you doing, brother?
Not bad. You can set StreamYard to do the same thing, though.
Do a little bloop bloop?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. I got to check my settings then.
Yep. It's in your settings. Yeah, that's why I'm late. Netter and I were just getting caught up on Mandalorian. And I saw the Vespas. I said, oh, they're doubling down on that, apparently.
They are doubling down all sorts of actually just crazy things. Like I'm sort of like in shock. So Joker voice is here as well.
Netter said to me, why does it look like they are now suddenly Star Wars is all about overweight people and women with butch short haircuts? I said, it's Disney.
Yeah, it's the LBGDQMOUSC. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, the episode I really kind of wanted to really kind of EFAP into a little bit too, because I sent a little link there to Joker. Netter, I'll throw one in your Twitter as well if you want, just because at least you have the option to if you decide to hop in and give us your thoughts. Because I'm really I was sort of shocked at how bad it was. I know I shouldn't be. I've been watching this whole freaking time, so it's not like it should surprise me of how bad it is.
Yeah, I honestly feel like it's getting worse every week.
And it is, especially because there's not even like a consistency with week to week. They do things that contradict things like within the same episode and that kind of thing. So Bobby says, I'm surprised that they had this whole iRobot scene, but never had Alan Tudyk's voice K2, so it can be even more like iRobot. Yeah, no, I mean, nothing about this show is going to make a whole lot of sense. That's for sure. So, look, everybody's popping in here. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So, yeah, let everybody kind of catch up to where we're at here. And I am playing with this. Let me make sure I mute it. So we had to have our little recaps, which, by the way, I love the fact that when Favreau did this interview where he falls on the sword, I don't know if you've seen any of these quotes yet from it, Troy, because what you're going to see this in the next couple of days is Favreau's basically saying, I'm not getting any pressure from anybody. It's all me. And I've said that's all along. His name is the only name. It's consistently on all the episodes. He's going to have to fall on a sword with how bad all this writing is.
Yep.
There's our brother from another mother. How you doing, Joker?
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Right?
Dear.
Yeah, yeah.
This is...
Look, I know Mr. J and I may not agree on all the fine points, but we definitely do agree on the broad strokes.
This series, this season is the death nail of Star Wars. And I was going to hold out hope till Ahsoka. I'm done.
The normies don't care. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let me say hello to Netter. How are you, lady?
Hi, Netter.
You got to get closer to the mic.
Oh, okay. Give me a second.
Yeah, I won't be able to hear you a little bit. I'll try to turn you up on my end as well. Hey, Netter, by the way, this I think it's the first time you've been on my channel, so I appreciate having you with me.
There you
think
go.
so, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Great to have you with me. So, so yeah, let me give everybody a normie update. So if you didn't hear me earlier today, I was on the Sporking News channel and I said this. I had a crazy normie update today where someone who, like Joker, we use this. It's part of our brand now. I watch it, so you don't have to. So I had
right.
So I had someone seek me out for the update. You know, what's the Mando update, right? And a person came in the room and, basically said, I said something along the lines of, are you watching the show? And they're like, yeah, we're watching the show. All right, so we won't talk about spoilers or whatever. She's like, I hate the show. They've lost me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you sound like one of us. Like, you need to be careful, So she is the embodiment of the normie. She has no clue, like, probably who Favreau is. She probably doesn't understand the lore. She's literally just watching shows, and she's like, they're losing her. Like, it's so bad. And that's before this episode. And I just kind of laughed when she was saying all this. I'm like, you have no idea how bad it's going to be. So, Kitty Bear's in the house. Normie. All right. Yeah, Star Wars died a long time ago. Well, Kitty Bear, let's remember, I watch it, so you don't have to.
Right.
So,
and I'm getting to the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't want to watch. Don't want to watch it anymore. This season has sucked any joy that I had for this title completely out. There was no joy in this.
Is it also a little bit, let me ask Netter first. Is it a little bit of the fact that it doesn't totally stink as bad as like She-Hulk does? So therefore it has like little moments that are good. And then it's like all of this other trash too. And it's almost more painful to deal with something that is like, has potential that's always falling rather than something that's just total garbage.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's like, it'll have some moments that are really, really good. Then it's like, what the heck is this stuff? And that just throws off the whole story. Cause it's like, okay, if they cut all that extra garbage out, they would have a good story. Why is that there? And it's just because somebody wanted to fill up space or they couldn't think of anything better or whatever. And it's like we were watching Mandalorian tonight. One of the things they were talking about were some droids. And Troy and I were both going, side quest, another one.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
AG Boomer, have you not watched it? So this is going to be. I mean, obviously, I'm going to EFAP through some of this because I'm with you, Joker. I lost my. I watched this very early. I could have easily done a video multiple times during the day and just don't care.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Favreau link and I was like, oh, let me just kind of make a video. Then I'm like, let me just do it live, so I don't even have to edit anything. I'm just done. It's just out there. I mean, I'm literally gotten to that point where I'm like, I don't even want to deal with it. Like, I'm just like, yeah.
Well, I actually dropped a video the morning where a lot of Star Wars stans are not going to be happy because just through the timelines and to whatnot, I'm like, okay, people say it's Jon's fault, it's Jon's fault. And yes, he is the showrunner. But this season, unlike previous seasons, Jon has a boss now. And that boss is Dave Filoni.
Exactly.
And this has the stench of Dave Filoni all over it.
Yep.
He name drops Dave Filoni in that Esquire interview, so I definitely did not. That definitely didn't go unnoticed by me. Was like that was what he did, and I've said it all along. Like Favreau, his name is on everything, though. He's not. He can't dodge. He has to just kind of own it. They've kind of hung him on this. So, the show opened with who and where are those other Mandalorians that everyone's going to go try to find. So that's pretty much all of this is. These are the mercenary Mandalorians in the scene where we get characters that we kind of know. At least we know what alien race they are. They get put into some little cutesy moment and they're going to have this little scene. That's kind of what we get out of our opening scene where, you get Squidhead, which dates all the way back to Jedi. I could care less about all their alien names anymore. You're fine. Because even if it was in my brain at some point, it's just been so crammed in with other Star Wars nonsense that I don't even bother trying to refresh my brain on which ones are which so I don't misspeak. I'm just calling them by their action figure names at this point.
Yeah.
It's Squidhead and Akbar, and that's pretty much what we get is those kind of things. And then female Squidhead is just in an aquarium.
This is dumb. This is absolutely dumb. Right here.
Well, I'm trying to wrap my head around
why
a female aquatic squid face type creature with breasts. Why would a female squid face have breasts like a mammal? Whatever.
I mean, Netter, can't you see yourself in that Squidhead character because it has boobs? I mean, isn't that what we're supposed to do with this now?
I'd rather be in Bo-Katan's outfit.
Yeah, she did say that. There was a scene where she's walking,
awesome armor,
and she said, "Wow, she looks good in that armor." I said, "Yeah, that's true."
Yeah,
I want her armor.
We can work on that.
Yeah, there you go. There's your side quest for you.
There's my side quest. Yeah,
I mean, heck, I'm already a Klingon. It's not much of a step.
There you go.
All right. So, I got to be honest. The opening sequence was fine. I mean, the silliness of the opening sequence aside, the execution of at least it looked good. The communication back and forth. But then they had this. We had to have this. So let me turn up some volume because I can't not give a jet. I want to make sure, AJ Boomer, you get this, buddy. I want you to get the absurdity of what we have to deal with.
No, I love you. Please go.
I love you. I love you.
Romeo and Juliet in space.
That voice is nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
And you could not make a more cucked character.
A little beta Akbar. Yeah.
I can't destroy everything I've built for a childish fling.
I can't do it. It's a childish fling. Get out of my sight, little boy. So girl boss kicks him to the curb and hands him over to the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
It was the best. I laughed out loud. I was like, God, this is so terrible.
One of the things I did like is when they went to the planet with the rogue Mandalorians, or whatever you want to call them, the royalty that's on the planet did actually refer to Bo-Katan as princess.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
I mean,
that's her title.
at least in that, they kept their continuity straight.
Hey, listen, and again, that's smart marketing because now you can have Princess Bo-Katan action figures. So, with removable ceremonial dress. See,
Surely you're not suggesting that Hasbro just re-released the same figure with a different bullet.
I would never ever insinuate that's exactly what they will do.
That's exactly what they do. Exactly.
Yes, it is. This is Star Wars now. This is romance for you in space. It's so insane.
In honesty, though, I guess it is more romantic than Anakin and Padme. Just saying.
Well, that bar's pretty low. That bar's pretty low.
I bet these guys don't like sand either.
Sand in the aquarium is very low.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know that they know Bobby. I don't think they know, and they don't care. Like is really kind of the moral that you're going to get out of my take on where we're at. Like this is just something to do. Put this mask. It just feels like they're wearing masks. Not that they're these creatures. Mm-hmm. Sure, it's all just satisfactory TV stuff, but it's just bland, and then that's it.
Agent No, they are not the same species, but they are from the same planet.
Exactly.
And these two species hate each other.
That's why I wasn't even really joking when I said it was like a Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, that's a good Romeo and Juliet analogy. What's really a good one though. So I think it'd be hard for me to move Beskar princess dress. Oh well, you never know. Never know. Just more challenge.
True story.
So then we cut to what is happening is Din Djarin and Bo-Katan are going to this planet, which is where the mercenary Mandalorians are supposed to be. So go ahead.
I would like to add that Din Djarin doesn't even get to ride in his own ship. He gets to ride shotgun in Bo-Katan's car because she's gonna drive. And you notice through the episode, Din doesn't have his jetpack.
I did
notice that.
I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed it because she had hers, and I was like, "Yeah, where's his at?"
And there's a scene where jetpacks could come in really handy, but no. And
I would say it makes sense they would take her ship because his is like a single rider ship.
Right.
They have completely ruined his role as bounty hunter by putting him in like a Naboo fighter, which is interesting.
If we could have seen Bo-Katan with her head sticking out of the dome, that would have been hysterical.
I would have laughed my ass off.
All right.
That would have been great.
It just to me makes no sense why he's not having a second ship built or something like that. It just makes no sense. But that's again. So that's where they're going. They're headed there, and you can see
Epcot planet.
That's what I said too. It's freaking. They went to Disney.
They do go to Disney, and we're going to get to this place. I don't want to totally spoil my reaction to whenever the door opened up and what I saw, because I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is where we're going."
Oh yeah.
So yeah, little baby Yoda's there next to Bo as we're flying into town. And this is kind of what we're going to go with. It's, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. So, it's just landing.
Epcot.
Yeah, definitely Epcot. And
they even have a monorail.
Yeah, so they literally get on a monorail, and the monorail is not listening to them. Like she's trying to talk. Din Djarin doesn't care. Like he's just like, whatever. Just tell me where to shoot.
Well, come on. At least that you can understand.
Yeah, it's like should be who he's doing. Yeah, Joker.
Did anyone, as I know we talked about the Epcot planet, the monorail here, as they get within range, this annoying hello, welcome to Plaza 15, the outer rims only directly democratic planet, and just this annoying like tour guide voice shows up, and immediately I'm like, what the hell is this? What am I watching?
It does beg the question, are they actually taking jabs at Disney?
I don't think so. I think this
comes off.
Well, I think that this is meant to be the experimental prototype city of tomorrow.
Which, if it actually existed, they wouldn't have lost Reedy Creek. Just saying.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob.
Wow. Yeah. That's it. It really is. Cause it easily could have just been, welcome aboard Walt Disney World Monorail to Epcot. For those of you standing, please hold the handrails throughout your journey and stand clear of those doors.
Yes.
Yes, very much so. Por favor, mantengas alejado de puertos. Yes.
Can I answer Zach's question?
Oh, sorry. It's hard for me to balance questions. So yes, please rock and roll through.
He's asking, when did the Mando episodes of the Book of Boba Fett take place in the timeline? So, yeah, literally, contemporaneous with the Book of Boba Fett before this season. So, in other words, end of last season, Grogu goes off with Luke. He comes back during Book of Boba Fett, complete reset by the time we get to Mando.
Yeah, 2.5 was the joke during Boba Fett, and it turned out to be actually in line with the timeline that they went with. Yeah. Yeah, if you did not see Book of Boba Fett, it would have been somewhat confusing on why he had Baby Yoda and some of these things come into play. Yeah.
But just to talk about Netter's earlier point, I can see why you want Bo-Katan's armor. Dang, I'm just saying.
Hey, she was bootylicious in that.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm not
this is definitely been her best episode for sure.
Well, bring us to the bay closest to the Mandalorian fleet.
As per Article 9 of the Coruscant Accords, permission must be granted from High Senate for.
Oh, I hated it so much. It's like this weird whiny voice, not the typical monorail voice. Like, right. I don't understand why they chose, like, the monorail voice is kind of funny. Our kids had memorized it. There is actually a t-shirt, which, by the way, if anyone wants to buy me that t-shirt, I would love to have it. There actually is a shirt that says, which is what it always said right after the monorail does its spiel. It does it in Spanish.
Or the Matterhorn, remain seated, please. Deben de ser sentados, por favor.
Yes.
And so I would just like to say that the annoying voice just said in accordance with the Coruscant Accords.
Mm-hmm.
But a few seconds earlier, we are told that this is an independent world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So why are they going along with the New Republic statutes?
Well, again, I'm going to point out, too, because now this is the second planet in the second episode where we have absolutely no plan at all, no military, no defense systems.
Nope.
To prevent the Republic or an empire to, any mercenary, anyone could just come and take over these planets. There's just nothing. There's no infrastructure for any security at all in the Carl Weathers planet or the Epcot. Well, there's another adjective I want to put with this, but I don't want to spoil it yet. Because it's so absurd. So
well, I took the she specifically explains that the reason they're not allowed to have armed police and a standing military is because what's his name used to be Imperial, and I took that as an obvious allegory to Japan after World War II.
Okay, I mean, it still doesn't make any sense of how you would maintain order of your planet.
Correct.
Any sort of, obviously the Mandalorians have enough military expertise and equipment that they could just not listen to these people and do what they wanted to do.
Well, there was literally that same point made by the Japanese after World War II, because the Japanese police force was not allowed to carry weapons. So, yeah.
Okay.
No, Zach, this is actually them. I guess we're now on episode 6. So it's them actually coming back around to get to these characters that they have talked about. We've not seen them this whole time. That's why they had
Wes, you can't focus on like mainline story. What are you thinking?
All these characters that exist in the universe that we're talking about? No, we don't do that. We only have gone like 3 planets because he only goes back to the planets he's been to before, not any of the other planets in the galaxies.
Correct.
So,
okay, got all that. I think I'm catching up on that part.
It is confusing, yeah.
Grogu, roughly 30 years of Jedi training. Yeah, so that flashback in the previous episode, which shows how he was there for Order 66, and based on the timeline where we're at in Mandalorian, shows he had years within the Jedi Temple.
Decades.
So the
Decades.
fact that The fact that he can only flip and barely use the Force, and he cannot speak in any universal languages, it's so frustrating and just shows how they do not care at all about anything making sense.
Nope.
Let's see. I think that okay, so we got everything there. Okay, good. All right, so this was another pet peeve of mine.
Self-defense forces in the peacekeeping.
Okay, yeah, this is kind of what you were saying, Troy. I want to get to the they do like some sort of wristband identification thing.
Oh yeah, the chain code.
By the leadership of the planetary democracy.
I'm afraid we have more pressing matters.
Yeah, I don't want to get a copyright blip blip, but it was like they have to do like a little chain code thing. I was like, I thought to myself, like, I was shocked that he would do that. I don't know. I thought there might be something interesting in the subplot here of like, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not participating with that, but I don't know. Yeah, that's what they do. They just do this little button and they get scanned and whatever. And it's like, I don't know. Last episode, we found out R5 was secretly talking to an X-Wing pilot somehow planets away. So who knows what's happening?
That's the other problem that I have. The old EU lore in me gets excited when they reference something from the EU, but the logical part of me goes, the normies have no idea what's going on with any of this. So if all you've ever seen is the movies and what's been put on Disney Plus, you're going, wait a minute, R5D4, the one that blew up,
in A New
Mars
Hope.
homestead, was somehow involved in the rebellion at one point. And I'm going, well, yeah, I know that, but I can totally see why no one else would,
Well, I hated the fact that it had the drone built into its head. Like, so the little drone popped off at the end of the last episode and went in and surveyed the damaged shuttle. And I'm like, so I don't want to be the stinker here and point back to R2D2.
Yep.
Is that what you need to get through Mandalorian?
Yes.
But it's like R5 could have just used that little drone like 3 episodes ago instead of spelunking and putting everyone in harm's way, and actually would have been a better choice for droid than the IG-11 model, which didn't have the little drone and put itself at risk. So,
which just made episode 1 completely useless yet again.
It is a lack of forethought in
What's up,
the
Shield Wall?
storytelling.
Yeah.
Although when I saw it, I thought, well, that's actually a brilliant piece of technology. Every R2 unit should have one of those.
Correct.
Then I thought back to the prequels and I was like, well, I guess I could say the same thing about the little rocket boosters on R2 that he never has again after the prequels. So this is not.
But again, it only takes a writer in the room to say, listen, I just need a piece of dialogue there. So the irritating lady that speaks Jawanese, all she had to do was make a few lines of dialogue to say how she's repaired and modified R5, and maybe even have a little moment where we could have a fun. See, that's an easy chance to actually make a joke, because you can make a little joke with the drone thing popping off its head or whatever, and it spooks Grogu or what. You can make something that sets this up as a proper setup and callback. Instead, we just do things, and there's no dots ever getting connected. It's just stuff getting thrown against the wall.
Easier way to do it. When the thing pops out of his head and goes and checks out the ship, and she says, you had one of those and you didn't use it back on Mandalore? And then a little reading could have come up and said, no, it was just installed. Whatever,
Yeah.
And then you get the Star Wars, you get the Disney stands, who I've had to get on some folks when they said, well, that's not the same droid. And I'm like, are you joking? And then the previous episode just confirms that yes, that is the same droid from A New Hope. Plus, it has the burn mark in the back of its head where it's
burned out.
Yes, where the motivator blew in A New Hope.
Yeah, Shield Wall. That's what we were talking about. Like they've moved on, and now we're on to R5, and we just ignore the fact that we wasted all that screen time in episode 1. So, So here we walk around the inner hallways of Epcot Center.
So let's walk some more.
Yeah,
let's just walk.
We didn't really get some of the dialogue either there in the shuttle ride where she was like, kind of like, what's your plan? I don't know. I got nothing. Nobody knows what they're doing. They're just doing things. We move along here. I got to get to the door because this is where it really got good for me. Let me turn the sound off, make it a little bit easier. There we go.
Looks very Empire. And then you get this.
A whole bunch of action figures we'll never get, but great fodder for the modders out there.
And all I thought to myself was, oh my gosh, they went full on Wall-E.
Oh yeah.
So other than just like not having like floating chairs,
yeah,
they went Cantina meets Wall-E in an Epcot Center. And I'm like, is that, and my brain literally went, is that freaking Jack Black? And I'm like, OMG. I literally paused it and was like, I can't believe this is where I'm at. I literally paused and just went, I can't believe this is where I'm at. Like I
paused it. I got up, did a lap around my bar going, I am not seeing this. I am not seeing this. I am not seeing this.
And here's the problem. It's stunt casting, but that stunt casting sends a message. It says, we're casting Jack Black, which means we're not taking this seriously anymore.
Right.
Whether that's what they intend to say or not, that's what I get.
And then on top of it, they had that black chick who Troy says is some singer. I've never heard of her or seen her before.
Yes, Lizzo.
Lizzo.
Oh, I don't know her. All I know is that she can't act for crap.
Yeah, that's for darn sure.
She has about as much acting talent as she has impulse control at a dessert buffet.
Exactly. And she's contracted to Disney for the Prouder and
the Proud Family,
Nowing, whatever they are.
The Proud Family,
and that's why she's there. That's why.
No.
Yep.
Wow.
She's Disney contract. They're using her.
And Lizzo, I know because I had done an article or I did a video or I've done something that involved one of her publicity stunts where it was, trying to make fat girl, not so attractive, be the magazine cover girl.
Yes.
And I was like, we're really, really going down a slippery slope, guys. We're going to try to redefine beauty but more importantly, health. Like, to say she's ugly, that's not my thing. To each their own. I don't. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm talking about healthiness.
Yeah, she's not unattractive. She actually has a very pretty face.
But when was the last time in Star Wars you saw overweight humans? Ever?
We have counting the last episode. We're up to like 4. Okay. We're up to like 4 or 5. Yeah. No, there's no.
Exactly.
And actually, most modern science fiction implied, I don't want to say it's like people didn't have food, but it implied the fact that everyone was very respectful of resources. Yeah. There weren't gluttony. Like this is part of the reason why Jabba the Hutt is so important because he's a glutton. Like
and in fairness, the society on this planet, I suppose, does imply,
right,
a hedonistic lifestyle. So
this,
I guess that's appropriate.
Okay, this I would not have gotten the reference unless I had recently watched a series on Peacock based on a book, Brave New World. This is Brave New World.
Wow, that's heavy. I didn't even put that together.
Good point. I hadn't considered that one.
This is Brave New World.
Yep.
Right here. Because the droids, as we will find out, are the epsilons of this planet here.
He makes a great point.
Yeah, I can see them actually doing that. That actually isn't even above their skill set. That actually something they could actually do.
Honestly, I thought I was giving them too much credit by saying, wow, this looks a lot like the real world now, because the whole point was, and I know you're getting to this, if they were to turn off all the droids, the society would collapse because no one knows how to do anything. And so many people from our generation have looked at the workforce around us and gone, if we lose technology, if we lose the AIs, if we lose all that, these kids would not know how to survive.
Correct.
Yeah. No, their phones go off.
Yeah.
And I'm just as guilty. I don't have Troy's number anywhere else other than my phone. So if I lose my phone, I won't be able to call you.
I can't not call Pops, apparently.
Yeah.
Right.
So Zach says, I wonder if they plan to add some minor explanatory dialogue in post, but just forgot they're all wearing helmets. They don't know. No, don't. The benefit of the doubt is long gone with me, Zach. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's not something that should be getting to post without thinking. A good writer thinks those dialogue elements through as they're writing.
We put everything in the script. You shoot everything that's in the script. You're not relying on post. But again, this is the MOUSC house.
If I forget, then my editor is going to look at that and go, we need a piece of dialogue to explain this. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, just like they needed a way to have Grogu babysat while they went off on
adventure. And that makes no sense. Makes no sense. Completely opposite of the character, because Din is very protective of this kid. The only reason he went off the only reason he left Grogu with anybody was because it was the armorer who was a Mandalorian. This is a complete stranger, and sure, go ahead.
Yep.
Well, he even said to her, it's like, yeah, he doesn't really like strangers. Then she wiggles a fish and Grogu just...
Well, yeah, I mean, but that is treating Grogu like a dog. Like how do you get a dog to love you? You hold a piece of bacon.
Yeah, he's a pet now.
Yeah.
Well, I've called him a purse puppy for months. Yep. So, he's definitely lived up to purse puppy now. He's literally quite literal. So, yes, I was hoping, I know this. So if we're going to go this absurd, bear with me.
Yeah.
Then at one point when he's trying to maybe drink something or eat something, he actually pulls off that terrible beard, drinks it, and puts the beard back. Like I literally thought, if we're going to go absurd, just go full on. He's faking it. He's still Empire. So I couldn't believe how bad this looked and felt. Everything about it just was awful for me. I couldn't handle it. Oh, it was terrible.
Hey, Steven. Good to see you.
Hey, Steven, buddy.
Hey, Steven.
Hope you're doing all right. So yeah, and then just I gotta be honest, it was also the voice.
Oh yeah.
It's not like
it's just Jack Black.
Yeah. It's you can't take it serious.
There's just one condition.
It's literally like listening to him do R.L. Stein in Goosebumps.
Yeah. Right.
It's not even like enunciated differently like he did for Jumanji. Like for Jumanji, he had like a character inside of him.
Yeah, he was pretending to be a girl in a guy's body.
Right. So you had all of these different ranges that he would play when he had, the black kid in him in the second film, and these different elements that worked really, really well. And in this, it's like, no, he's just playing the R.L. Stein, kind of. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was unbearable.
If he would have played, if he would have played this like he played in King Kong, that would have been fine.
That could have been interesting.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, could have been interesting.
Which implies to me then that that's how he was directed. He was directed to play it this way.
To be like a Kung Fu Panda. Yes.
You're exactly right. Yes.
Because this is basically this season, and I have said this, the dialogue feels cartoony.
It's AI, man. It's AI. There is no way Favreau is writing all of this. This dialogue is so generically cardboard. Humans don't talk like this. And it has to, and I go back to this. I wish we could play more of it so you could get a feel of the cadences and stuff, because their tone and their voice
if you
is
play
not
one
right.
piece of dialogue, you got to play that end scene with, the prisoner brought before them. That was so cringe and so terrible. That sums it all up.
Yeah. It has to be AI. It's so bad.
But honestly, a lot of people are starting to say that about a lot of the entertainment that we're getting. The reason that AI is starting to pass the Turing test now is not because AI is so good at mimicking human writing. It's that humans have become so bad at it. They are as bad as robots now.
That is correct. I mean, one of the things that you would do, and again, as someone who's at least done some writing, is, I can remember I spent like 3 days and I say 3 days, not like 24-hour days, but so many hours per day, 3 days in a row of searching the words I had used the most, and then doing synonyms to try to figure out how to reduce the volume of those word uses, like picking and choosing. So you're not using, because we all have crux, like little words that you use. And in this show, it's like the way they repeat each other, they say the same things.
Direct democracy. They said that term 3 times in this episode.
Yeah, I can't.
That was also somebody squeezing in some political points.
Well, yes, because when they talked to the guy in charge of all of the droids, Doc Brown, when he said that the people don't work, they now pursue art, they pursue leisure. I'm like, oh wow, direct from Marx. That's nice.
Yeah, I thought exactly the same thing.
That is.
Oh yeah, you give us freedom from effort and true socialism, and we can all be Athens, and we could be philosophers and artists.
Right.
Well, that's what they have said with the universal basic income stuff. It was all exact same. Bobby, I don't know if they are. It's the only thing they can do with Grogu. Right. Grogu is completely useless as doing anything other than that. So yeah, I didn't even play the flip. I must have hit past it whenever I moved the cursor. So that really does. Yeah, it looks terrible. And Awesome One is here. Hey brother, throwing out another nickname for tonight. Popsicle. I'll take it. Yeah, the UBI argument is that too. Like if you have this X amount of money, then therefore people have the freedom to quote be these starving artists, basically. Whatever.
But if you give away a basic universal income, that devalues it to zero, and nobody. It's like raising the minimum wage. Raise it to $15. Raise it to $20. Raise it to a friggin' $1 million. What's the difference? Everything balances out, and now suddenly you can't buy anything.
I wanted to try to get the flip.
So when I saw the guests, here, I'm like, oh, these look like the figures you got with the knockoff cantina.
Yes.
Set. You got the hammerhead.
Yep.
You got the tall snaggletooth.
Yep. Blue snag.
Yep. Which Troy, I knew you would have caught that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Look at him.
And another cucked male. So So now we have our third cucked male.
Pops, can you play it on mute so that we can see without having to hear it?
Well, I want to hear Lizzo.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps hold the baby, please.
He doesn't take kindly to strangers.
I love it. It's so bad. At this point now,
cover your ears, Jay.
this has gotten so bad, Joker. I really am feeling almost like She-Hulk. Like it's starting to get to the point where it's so bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really is getting close.
Here
we go. Here we go. Yay! Flipperoni!
That condescending.
This is literally, this episode here is on par with some episodes of She-Hulk and episodes of Obi-Wan. It is that bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't believe this episode. It was crazy. I just I will let it go a little bit because I know they cut to the other side of the table, which is where you really can get. There you go.
Yeah.
So now we do get.
Yeah.
There's the snag, hammerhead. There's the Neum Num characters.
Species. The nine numb
characters. There was a Greedo character down here at the end of the table.
Yeah.
No, Rodian, yep.
Yeah, I don't know what this one's called with the flower face. I don't know what that one's called.
I mean, it's the specific character was Ishitib, but I don't know what his name is.
Okay, that's it. I couldn't remember that one. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So yeah, we get this amalgam of, and this is where they think that they're doing key jangling Easter egg type stuff when they do that. And it's like, oh, we need you to do this. Let's see if we can get a little voice here.
To speak to these privateers.
That can be arranged.
But first, I have an adventure for you to go on before you can level up. Go ahead, Netter.
Before you can level up. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
she said side quest, and you said before you can level up. Exactly.
Let's see.
And
Athens fell.
I just like the fact that so now we get Bo-Katan in with her helmet off, which either says that Katee did not like being in the ADR booth and she likes being on set, or the contract of just doing ADR had elapsed and Katee had to be on set, because Pedro's never, because we have not seen Pedro's face once, to the point to where the guy who was in the suit, Lateef Crowder, gets credit in the end credits.
Yep. I
that's awesome.
that.
I'm glad that that's actually happening now. I'm like, we need to just stop pretending with how this stuff is playing out. And I would not be shocked if she's like, listen, I'm not coming back for season 3 and doing all this with a helmet on.
Right.
We're gonna, she and her agent probably has a number. It probably says 70%, 30% on, or something like that. She's savvy. She's got all that BG money.
Mm-hmm.
She's way more savvy than some of these other people. Pedro, I mean, it pains me to have to admit it. He is a decent actor and he has done some good stuff. So I don't know that he's sort of attached to all of this, that he can't really get away from it. But at the same time,
there is another angle on this that should mean more, but I don't think it does with Disney. The fans are starting to say this whole, the way thing and the whole cultish aspect of it. They're getting tired of it. And they're going, there's a problem with this storyline and the not taking off the helmet thing, and it's getting kind of ridiculous. Well, not that Disney would care about that, but from a writing standpoint, they really do need to get past it already.
Well, the jokes wrote themselves for the normies, right? Like, how do they do their hair? How do they eat? How do they brush their teeth? Blah, blah. Yeah. It's like,
how
the normies, like,
how do they,
this is just dumb. Yeah, this is just dumb. Like, it's yeah.
Mm-hmm. And on top of all of that, it's as in the previous episode, the rules really mean nothing, because basically when the armorer said that Bo can take off her helmet, because she walks in both worlds, she's basically Jim Jones now.
Well, I had all this time been taking the whole mask thing as a beer bug an analog. Remember when they were telling you if you're intimate with someone, you still got to wear a mask, which makes zero sense. This is what this cult sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that, and it definitely, boss lady says take it off, and more importantly in that scene, remember she says respect my station,
and
I'm like, oh, so she's the one in charge. She's the one running the cult, because
and she can make the rules.
Decides that Bo-Katan can do whatever. Right. And then when the other guy calls it out and says, "Oh, she's got her helmet off," he's like, it's like, sit down and be quiet. You need to listen to lady bosses.
As she is now Jim Jones.
Netter and I were, he's absolutely right about that. Netter and I were talking about it during that scene, and we both agreed that there was a better way they could have written that. They could have had her pause and say, "Are you casting me out?" Giving the other the opportunity to say no, and not be so harsh about it. Say, trust my counsel, and then she can explain to her why she's telling her to take off her mask.
Right.
And
you actually really hit the nail on the head too, because there needed to also be like an elaboration of they've said it now twice. She walks in both worlds. Okay, we don't care. We don't understand what it means. You need to say this is the way she can relate to these others. They need to do a much more simple and direct way of communicating what they mean.
If they did that,
it's cloaked in nonsense. This is the problem.
You're right, but I will bet you the fear is that if they were to make it make sense, it would sound too much like Christianity, where they would have to be all things to all people to attract people to the way, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. And everyone's welcome.
Can't do that. They can't show Christianity and proselytization in a positive light. So
there is a way, only one way. Yes. Boomer has pointed out Boomer, this has really been one of my pet peeves in all of the Disney products, especially Marvel, where
Harry
they will
Russell
hire
was in Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you will have these characters and actors, and it's like they're so irrelevant. They're hidden behind CGI, or they're wearing a mask. Or why did we pay?
Harry Russell's gorgeous. You don't hide that behind a mask.
I know it makes no sense whatsoever. But think about some of the people that they have cast. Even the fact that they killed off James Spader's Ultron, and then we had Christopher Eccleston wasted
as a dark elf.
Dark World. It's like it's just all of these things. It's like
they can bring back James Spader anytime they want. Ultron can come back anytime they want.
Right. I know.
They just don't have writers that understand that.
That's a good point. Yeah. All right. So let's move. Anyway, so I think I caught enough of the Jack Black, the Lizzo talking or lack of acting. We got the Yoda flipping, eating the fish, the menagerie of Katina knockoffs.
Yeah.
In our little Wally universe at Epcot.
Side quest.
So yeah, all right. It's time to level up. Make sure you go get your experience points. So they're going to now walk to the back, and she's wearing this ridiculous outfit.
This makes my brain hurt.
It really looks like something you'd see at Disney. It really does.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be a cosplayer. There's going to be like a meet and greet now at the Star Wars people with people who can dress, because these are people we can actually cast here in Florida. We can actually find a nice fat white guy like that just going to play the Jack Black character, and we can find a Lizzo lookalike that's close enough with all the pretty stuff to go take your photo with. So, the premise of the episode is that this planet is basically being run by the droids. Everyone's all fat and lazy. No one has to do anything. However,
such a brave new world.
It is. And they have this outbreak of the robots. At first, they describe it in a manner that says they're just malfunctioning and acting crazy. But then it sort of escalates, and you have one who's basically like a robot sushi chef who goes nuts, and you hear people actually screaming because obviously it's maiming people. So the Mandalorians, because it's part of their religion to have their weapons, they're allowed to stay armed and go on the property, basically go into Disney, go on the Epcot grounds, find the robots, and dispatch them appropriately. It literally is that on the nose with like a theme park analogy ripped out of like this amalgam of the Cantina and Wally and Epcot. And it's yeah.
And somewhere a writer, somewhere in that story group, the writer's room, someone is patting themselves on the back going, "Aren't I so clever?"
How did he not make someone else take some writing credits? Did he not? Does he think that it's good?
Who, John?
Yeah.
I don't know. But again, John does not have the final say here.
I know, but he could have easily stuck. There's no way he's writing all of this. It's just.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is. I think it's part of the writer's room. I think it's Dave, and Dave is now in charge, and he's a little drunk on his power, and you can tell, as I have said, I've been saying now for about a couple months, Dave Filoni only cares about Dave Filoni characters, which is why Din, a Jon Favreau character, is being pushed to the back, so Bo-Katan, a Dave Filoni character, can take the spotlight.
Yeah, I agree. Bobby, would you be shocked? I will not only be shocked. I will not only expect a Lizzo Jack Black figures. I expect it for them to pay to get some extra press out of it. So like a THR or something like that, they will actually do a little article on, the fat action figures and things like that are coming. Oh, absolutely. This is all contrived and planned. There's no doubt in the world.
I would love to see.
But Troy, that's a great joke, by the way.
I would love to
Great
see.
joke.
I would love to see a Lizzo action figure being a test run and have the same result as the Reva lightsaber.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what would happen. This is the problem that
Sorry,
Disney
Zach's is in Florida, so that's like a double-edged joke for those people who don't know. He's down here in Florida, so I made my joke about these are people who live in Florida, and he's at a CC.
Yep. I actually saw them.
That was really good.
This is the problem that we're having with, and I honestly, I've mentioned this several times in several toy videos. I don't know if it's Disney or if it's Hasbro or both, but we get all the toys that we don't want, like you said, the Reva and all that kind of stuff. But then I said to Netter, literally, when in this very scene you're about to show, they showed 2 Imperial droids, and I'm like, those are the action figures I want. They're probably the ones we're not going to get, though. Well, I say that, but then again, knowing Hasbro, they could do them just because they're repaints. So maybe we will.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you just take an existing droid and paint it.
Yeah, Netter knows I'm going to do it myself. But,
of course you will.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, again, Age Boomer with the whole Jack Black thing. At this point, I would rather him just go more ridiculous. Like he was such a genius at the Empire. He was allowed to be pretty zany, and the Republic has tried to shackle him a little bit, and he make him this convert. And yet he would almost like break out into like Tenacious D shenanigans. Like he's almost like he's just, that would have made more sense.
Just go over the top.
Yeah, just he's the Lizzo is the grounded boss lady.
Blech.
Fair enough. That's what you want. Fine. Then make it make more sense. I don't know.
Maybe they're planning a spinoff for them.
Oh, God.
Why not? I'm all about the spinoffs right now. I'm all about all of the spinoffs. I want to see Mayor of Kingstown, the Orphan series, Mayor of Kingstown, the Widow series. I want to see Mandalorian, I don't know what this planet is called, the Wally faction. I don't even know what this planet. I don't even care. So because it's the only way I'm going to melt them down, Joker. I have to melt them down so I can keep waking up normies and sharebholders. I just have to make it keep going.
And this is
why do you hate me, Pops? Why do you hate me?
Hey, it's content.
And I thought that the Jack Black story was them reiterating what we saw in the aside Andor episode last time or the time before.
Episode 3.
Yeah, where you're seeing all of these ex-Imperials that, well, we were Imperials, but we were Republic before that. Now we're New Republic. We don't care. We just want to be able to maintain our, gluttonous lifestyle.
Yep.
We just want to live. We just want to live in our 15-minute city, which is basically
kind of
which
the way
is
the world is now.
Which is a prison.
Yeah.
Well, it's the access. As long as they have their access and their lifestyle, they could care absolutely less.
Right.
Padawannabe
got the figure going on here, talking about that. Yeah. Hail to you too, brother.
I don't do the Black series because they're bigger and more expensive. I can buy more, 3 3/4 inch figures.
And you might as well at this point. Again, I am so on the cheap, and I am loving the thrift store, yard sale, flea market hunt of things, kind of like the OG way of doing things. Because I'm finding that because there's so many things, people don't know. They don't know which Boba Fett this is. They don't know which of these things are. So now you're suddenly I'm finding things like for $3. I'm finding things for like $5. I'm finding, okay, they don't have a gun or whatever. My grandson's not going to ever care. We'll figure out the gun separately. Like, I got it, right? But that's how I found it. It's like my copy of Excalibur wouldn't work. And I went and I found a thrift store. I got a $1 DVD copy of Excalibur.
Oh, wow.
And so I think the world has just evolved so much that, just kind of hang in there, guys. Get the things that you want. Just take your time and and go and enjoy the hunt. Enjoy the experience like it used to be instead of relying on the internet for them to deliver it. It makes it just a more rewarding experience.
Which, by the way, Pops, thanks for all of these. You sent me.
Yes, happy birthday, my brother.
Oh.
Yes. Which, by the way, here's another. Well, first off, let me plug this. I have many of you are members. All of you that are on the channel with me are members. Sorry, that's why you're here. Yes, Arwen Avalon did do her video with me today, and yes, she did take the Padawannabe challenge, and we have it. So it will release for the members first.
No,
absolutely, she did it. It is hysterical, just as you would expect it to be. It will drop for members first, and then about a week or so later, we'll drop for everybody else. She did also record a little. I call them the in-betweeners. It's the cartoon segments in between X-Men and Batman. I know we're going to. We'll figure it. We'll do it. We'll do it. We got to have another. We got to do another show anyway. We need to do something. Just you and I. You need to do something like that.
I do mine, but right now I'm in my jammies and no makeup. So
no. We I meant to actually. It's funny that you came on tonight because I actually meant to message you like listen. I don't know what your schedule's like the next week or so. I don't want to keep plugging things in because I want to make some time for you so we can figure.
I'm off work at 4:00. So
okay, perfect. So I rambled. However, let me circle back to one. I want to put a pin in something. The 200 range or so between issues 200 and 300 of Spawn, they weren't selling, and their prints went down to 20,000, 15, 20,000. And some of these have the most beautiful covers you can possibly imagine. They are homages to classic covers, like the famous Wolverine versus Hulk, or the reflection in the claw.
Yeah.
These covers and these books. So if you're ever out there and you see some of these things, I don't know, just buy them because they may not see them again. They're just that rare. And I think that's where some of these action figures are going to end up. Or they're just kind of out there. And if you see them, you just kind of have to grab them because it's a moral imperative. Okay, we're going to get to that, Bobby. He's going ahead of us a little bit, so we'll keep going here. So this is that close circuit video of the droids going a little berserk. I will say this: I shame them for cutting away in this scene. We all knew what was happening.
Yeah,
they cut away.
Buddy,
it came out
Here's our big
RoboCop to me.
Oh, I just couldn't stand the senior citizen Doc Brown,
that was kind of painful.
Marty, we have a problem with these droids, Marty.
I'm getting too old for this.
Great Scott!
It was
one
of the worst.
Where's that kid?
It is one of the worst castings they've done to date. It's worse than the Jack Black casting because
it's jangling keys.
He was much better.
It's just jangling keys.
He was supposed to have a presence and an intensity as the episode goes on. It's revealed, and none of that. And that is the problem because it's just not. It's just not there. So it's not really a dog on him. He got the job. He got the gig. He got the money. But
and he didn't come off Doc Brownish. He came off as.
Oh no! It's just us making fun of it. Now he's fine. Yeah.
Unlike what we were saying about Jack Black.
Yeah. No worries. See your message there, Joker. No worries. So that's what's basically happening here. You see him being intense.
I can't live without it. And why?
Yeah, can't live without it. Everything will fall apart if we don't rely on this. So exactly what Troy was saying earlier, the entire infrastructure. And we saw this during the pandemic. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. A couple of videos showed there was no toilet paper, so everybody panicked. They all went and bought toilet paper, which created a toilet paper shortage.
Yep.
There was never a toilet paper shortage if everybody had just bought what they needed, but instead it created chaos. And then that started to spill over into other products because people, I'm here, I might as well just get it. So
there's also the concept of the panic, right?
Yep.
And every time someone starts to panic, I always ask the same question: what did people do before? Before that was available, what did people do? You could always do that.
Yeah, it's like my Target store still doesn't have Kleenex or nose tissue. It's like that whole aisle is empty, but they got paper towels, they got toilet paper. I don't understand what it is with nose tissues.
Yeah, yeah. No, we ran into the same thing all the time where it was like you would find certain things that it just didn't make sense. It really just didn't. So yeah, Bobby says that Roman has a great video. Oh, and he does a pretty good. I can see him doing a good Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd's got a pretty easy cadence to kind of get to. I get my throat a little. My throat's really dry because I've been rambling all day. And ZBR is here. Hey, Andy. And by the way, Andy, I know you are not a member, but you have sort of a free pass if you'd like to join us as well. So feel free to let me know, my brother. That invite's there. So, and I actually think that he's hiding a laugh in that reaction. Yeah, I sometimes the Din Djarin mannerisms don't work.
Yeah,
they don't quite have his character right in the season either, because sometimes his dialogue in this episode is, well, just show me what to shoot and what to destroy, but his mannerisms and his body language isn't always lining up with that, but it's fine. It's one of the lesser problems in this grand scheme of this dog pile of a show.
And one thing I did want to point out about seeing Christopher Lloyd, everyone goes to Doc Brown. For me personally,
Taxi.
Captain Krug, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Me too, man. I'm with you. Okay, so then the line is we got to go to where the Ugnaughts are. And then there's just some generic chit chat.
Hang it out.
Let's just finish this so we can be on our way.
Yeah, I don't have a plan, blah, blah, blah. It's a typical exposition. They keep repeating themselves. And then we go downstairs and we find Ugnaughts. And they sit around a table with the Ugnaughts.
Before that, though, I thought that was funny where she's like, hello, we need to check this out, da da da. And Din's just like, I got this. I am Din Djarin, da da da. I am friend of Ugnaught. I speak or something. Or
oh, right. Yeah.
And then it's kind of like,
you will answer us. I have spoken. And they all stop and turn and look at him. And it's like, this is, I almost said this is the way, but I would have said that regardless of the implications here. This is how you write something. Not every character is good at everything. One is good at this, but then that's why the other one's there to be good and help them because they don't know what they're doing in this regard.
And this is a scene that would have played better if he didn't have to have a helmet on. Right.
True.
This would have played so much better because he could have just had a little cut of the eyes and things like that would have said, hey, you see what I did there? Bet you're wondering how I know how to do that. Like there would be that type of cleverness written into the mannerisms that you could pull out of this scene, but you lose it because he has to be behind the helmet. However, I agree. This scene is a fantastic scene for a crappy show. Like this is, as bad as all of this was the best. This was the most fun I was having.
Absolutely.
Was watching the Ugnaughts and how they were responding to this, and then how he was communicating and the callbacks to episode 1. Yeah, it was great. So,
well, I just found it interesting that he mentions an Ugnaught's name, and of course, every Ugnaught knows everybody.
Well, of course they do.
Well, they may that I thought that too, and then I realized,
that is completely what that was. It's like, of course, because we all know each other.
No, I think what really got them was the I have spoken. In other words, he's using our
vernacular
lingo.
Yeah, our vernacular. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he must have known. He must have been a friend of an Ugnaught, which means he knows our way. He knows how to speak to us. And then even afterwards, when he's leaving, he's explaining what he did. He said, you were coming at them and accusing them. You can't do that.
Right. I get that. But the first pause was when he said, Queel. They paused.
Yeah, I don't know exactly why we were supposed to get that they would all know each other like that. I think it can work either way or both ways. I will say that the fact that Din Djarin's, the way he handled it all and the way they actually shot this scene, so they're all responding in a different sequence. So like you could see the Ugnaughts are responding in different ways is what made this work. Like this actually was the good direction of the scene. So we got our own princess. We got our own princess here, by the way. Princess Leia Rose is here. Hey, lady, I hope you're well. This episode's not what I expected. I don't know what you're expecting, sweetie.
Yeah. At this
lady,
point,
I mean,
nobody knows what to expect.
Yeah, my take is probably a hot take for kind of where you are on some of this stuff. I am black pilled on Star Wars like you have no idea right now.
I expect crap.
going back to what you were saying earlier, Pops, about the
Oh my gosh, Bobby, that would be freaking great, by the way.
About the whole helmet thing. There is a level of acting that very few actors display now that can act through a mask like that know how to do the tilt of the head or the gestures. It's that mime, that Marcel Marceau sort of thing, I mean, nowadays you would expect it to be more prevalent when you have actors like Andy Serkis out there doing the captures for CG.
Yep.
But I guess there just aren't enough of those kind of actors out there right now.
No, they can't pull off the Carl. Joker will agree with me. It's the Carl Urban. They can pull off the Carl Urban, or they can't. You either can do it or you can't, because he pulled off the
you're
Judge
referring to Dredd.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay.
It is the embodiment of the perfect performance with the helmet on.
Which is why I'm actually
incredible.
Which is why I'm actually glad that the guy in the costume is getting some credit, because he's actually acting.
He's trying. He's doing the best he can. I mean, obviously, Bryce Dallas Howard is not helping him out one iota in this freaking episode. So.
And when I saw that, because Bryce has directed some of my favorite episodes of the show, and this was just god awful.
Yeah, I go back to what we were saying earlier, especially Lizzo and Jack Black in particular. Like the direction of them in particular was just terrible.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it is directing and how much of it is writing and how much of it is the sum of the two. But there's some
the way I would say that the directing is going back to, I think Netter said this, and I know Joker said this too. It's like Netter hit the nail on the head. Talking about Lizzo, the way she was delivering lines.
Yep.
Like, no, that's not good enough, sweetie. You have to go back and try that again. Right. Then, this is what we're going to go for, Jack. This is what we're going to go for. We're gonna do this. No, we don't want Tenacious D, and we don't want this is where. So that's where the direction part comes in play. The script doesn't give us as much to work with. I mean, I couldn't agree more there. So this was really good.
Galaxy.
Yes.
We, like you, have been engaged with a task to perform.
I really like this scene.
And this is kind of the attempt to give Din some competence.
Yeah.
To give him.
Look at Michael Scott being here. All right, we got Michael Scott too. We got a princess. Michael Scott.
Yeah.
We got Banda.
But the problem is this is now episode 6, and you've gone the last 5 episodes where you've just made him the passenger in his own show, that this is too little too late.
Yeah, the show misses its opportunity because they've created this Mandalorian cult with all these weird rules and all this stuff. And the irony is, if the Mandalorians need to make more Mandalorians, going with like a romantic sort of like subtext would have worked to at least allow the characters to kind of like be a Bonnie and Clyde sort of approach to this bounty hunter kind of lifestyle they needed to have, and kind of move towards taking Mandalore together. Yeah. You know what I mean? We don't
give the shippers any fodder.
Well, I'm just, I feel like I can make it work. I'm just saying.
Okay, maybe you could
investigate the dangerous incidents. We would appreciate your help.
Waiting for him to say it. I know. I'm waiting. I was trying to. It was taking too long. I like that she's smirking back at him.
Yeah.
So at least, she is playing off like she's kind of proud of him in a little bit. I actually
come off as buddy cop kind of situation.
Here. A little bit. It definitely didn't come off as like smug girl boss. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I call it the brie. It doesn't have the brie on it.
Right.
Right. It doesn't smell of brie. It actually smells pretty good, so I liked it.
Which warm brie is actually quite good. It's quite tasty.
I know. Well, it's not warm. It's sour.
All Cold as witches comes to mind.
All right, so this is where we get it.
Ugnaughts always seem sure of themselves.
Well, it's the only lead we've got, so we might as well have a look around.
All right. we're back in the shuttle. We get a little bit back and forth, and again, I think all of this works fine. It's good enough. It moves us to where we got to go, and then I don't know, guys. So we go down there. We have to get this. I mean, I can't stand that people think that we should listen to these little stupid battle droids that date back to Phantom Menace. I can't stand all of that. Then we have these destroyer droids that are carrying around cargo containers of some kind, and we're trying to figure out, you know, kind of like how they get triggered into being destructive or violent. Yeah, I really didn't like this. I just didn't like that this was going to be his approach to things. It seemed very irrational for me.
And kind of childish.
I can't stand the battle droid stuff. This volume, the voice, and the just, oh, golly. Yeah. He just starts kicking them over to see what they do, and then finally he finds one that will fight him back.
And by the way, when this the battle droid takes off, have we ever seen anything that gives any indication that battle droids move like that?
No, it moved like a Cylon. It didn't move like a battle droid. I have no idea why this scene plays the way it does. It suddenly becomes, I think, was it, I don't know who called it, iRobot. Was that ZBR or something? So someone called it iRobot. It's like an iRobot / Cylon, not a battle droid, not the destroyer droid. None of these things make sense. Like, I don't know what they're doing.
And this whole thing kind of smacked to me of kind of a ripoff of the Corridor Crew and their riff on Boston Dynamics.
Okay,
the kicking over the droids.
And this picture right here says again how lazy the writing is, because as our good friend Critical Trigger says, the script needs the plot to happen. I mentioned that Din Djarin was noticeably absent of his jetpack. What does Bo-Katan have on her back?
Yeah.
A jetpack, and they resort to running.
Well, she uses it briefly to like jump over an obstacle.
But wouldn't that make more sense to go above the crowd? To fly above the crowd?
Actually, when you have one that's got a jump jet and one that doesn't, absolutely. One in the sky, one on the ground. And that's how you work together. But yeah, again, that would be like good writing.
Then they couldn't have the scene where Din breaks off from her and says, keep going.
Yeah.
And then he smashes through the window and knocks it down, then she shoots it. You know, they needed that. Otherwise, she would have already gotten to the robot.
I see him at 12 o'clock or whatever. You know, stuff like that.
But no.
Okay.
Right, exactly. Becomes Usain Bolt.
Yeah, so we have this running sequence.
Now, to her credit, Katee Sackhoff does not run like a girl.
No. Well, you kind of can't in that armor, but you're right. She doesn't.
I can run like a girl wearing my Victorian, and that's a bunch of skirts.
That's true. That's why you were on the security team, though.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's an address.
We're going to a robot bar.
Yeah.
Is what she's holding in her hand like the equivalent to a matchbook?
I think that's what
business card or something. Yeah, I thought it was very strange that would even be a thing with a droid when they live in a world of electronics, and it's like, oh, well, we're also going to have
the droid's going to forget the address.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Right, and the fact that you never saw that you never saw anything on the droid that would indicate that thing is even there, and all of a sudden there it is.
It was in his pocket.
Oh, okay.
Remember how Robot Chicken would do their little claymation in between scenes for Star Wars? Right. I feel like they would have this scene and there'd be a guy who he would panic thinking they were coming for him, and he would throw the little matchstick thing down on the ground. Like it's like completely irrelevant to the droid, and it's like suddenly they just, we just need this to happen. Yes, I know the writers. I know it's.
I thought the same thing, Bobby. I did too. I was waiting for it, and it never came.
Yeah.
Although they kind of did it softly because he was like, I don't think they're used to our kind here or something.
Well,
like
Din said that I bet they don't see a lot of our kind.
They gave that line to him, and I was with you guys. I don't even know why they didn't use that line. That line actually would have worked in the sense
would have,
of
but it wouldn't have worked with where they were going to go with the interaction they eventually have with the bartender.
Right.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So here we go.
Who puts a hiding key on a droid? Yeah, exactly.
Has the magnet little attached
well,
to it?
in fairness, it was a battle droid, so that actually would be a good place for a hiding key.
Not helpful.
Let me turn that off. A lot of walking, a lot of talking.
A lot of talking. And this is kind of where we see that the droids are the epsilons of this.
You're right.
So we're in a robot bar, the aforementioned robot bar, where the bartender is interacting with them. Bo's trying to be good cop. Din is being bad cop.
He's certainly not going to be good cop with droids.
No.
How's that going?
Look, you are not helping.
Oh yeah, the Daft Punk droid.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're right. I can't unsee it now.
Yeah.
What is it? I missed it.
The Daft Punk droid.
Daft Punk droid.
That's exactly what he looks like.
Replaced.
By what?
Humans. Most of us have been refurbished and reprogrammed.
Okay, time out. Yep. That line makes no sense because the humans don't want to work. So these droids are never in any doubt, or never in any fear of not being utilized. Because this entire society is based on leisure. So the droids will always have a job. They will never be replaced by humans.
But I thought they were implying that because of the violent droids, they were fearful of that their sentient being would be erased and they'd be wiped out. I thought that was more of the implication they were going through. I don't know if we can get through this scene and not get a copyright, but we can play around with it a little bit here to see if we can kind of work that out.
The thing I caught is another EU thing that doesn't get any explanation. There's a scene where they cut across and you see a blue protocol droid,
right,
and a more matted blue droid next to him. That matted blue droid is Blue Max from the Han Solo novels. I just finished rereading Han Solo at Star's End, and it was the same storyline with the droids where Blue Max was talking about being he's supposed to be decommissioned and he's trying to continue to provide service so that he doesn't get decommissioned. And it seems like this is what they are getting at with this storyline, but there's no context given that someone that doesn't know the EU would be able to follow along with.
Let's let him see if we can.
Human life is so short. They don't ask that much of us. Organics created us.
Yeah, I can't unsee the Daft Punk thing now.
Yeah, right?
It's the least we can do.
And the reason I get the reason that I get the Epsilon vibe is that we love our work. We love to serve. This is our station. This is what we're supposed to do.
Right. Johnny Five is alive.
I'm sorry.
It would be funny if Johnny Five was in that bar.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, Max. No, Captain Rex. I'm sorry, Captain Rex from Star Tours.
Steven Gutenberg fights for droid rights. That's great. The droid's voice is Spider-Man's brother. Okay.
Yeah, I want every one of those droids. Even if they're repaints, I want them. I just got this thing for droid action figures.
Oh, have you gone to one of the parks and made one?
Oh, no, I mean the 3 3/4 scale, not that junk that they sell at the parks.
Wow.
But they had 3 3/4 that you make yourself. You pick your own colors and domes.
They're like about 9 inches tall. They're like real big. They're bigger in scale than 12-inch action figures. And this close one here, this dark blue dome, I swear that's supposed to be an R7 droid.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure.
Do you have a record of what each of the...
All right, so we move forward to okay. Well, let's just jump because all that matters is we get to
another heavy
overweight human. But she has to actually work, which I thought was pretty unfair. Like, what? Exactly. Wow. Talk about it in a society full of injustice. Right. Why does she have to work? Anyway, talk about just someone who has no scientific charisma. I don't know a word to use it. Like it is so not believable that she's a scientist. Yeah. Like it doesn't come across as scientific. Not even like a percent. It's so bad.
And when she's trying to read the computer screen, she keeps getting really, really close to it.
Yeah.
And squinting at it. It's like, why are you getting that close to the screen? Can't you read?
Yeah. Or just blow it up. I mean, that's what we all do.
And then this thing here, Murder Droid.
Forgot about
my God. I got flashes of Logan's Run on this one.
Oh, yeah. I just watched Logan's Run not too long ago. I forgot how good that is.
We did a rewatch on Big Al's channel of it, too.
Yeah, just an excuse to use the saber finally actually makes a cameo in its show.
Right. And again, showing how badly he is at using it.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest pet peeves is like he still has no idea. He's not spending any time practicing with this thing.
No.
And that's what when Netter said, hey, he used that okay. And I'm like, yeah, he did one big swing.
Right.
But,
They didn't seem to struggle with it at all. It was just kind of like
I said though, as he uses it, it gets heavier and heavier.
Right.
So
why did the fluid look like blood or like it's like it didn't even look like transmission fluid. And she sticks it in like a microwave, and we get
I got Jibby Jab vibes about this whole storyline. To be honest with you,
that's true. I'm with you.
You pilots getting the jab and then stroking out while flying and stuff.
Yeah, she is so unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is there a name?
And then the final and then the Scooby bad guy
Commissioner
is revealed.
Hellgate.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Mr. Hellgate, the old guy that's upstairs by the giant red button.
No.
And they get the dip.
We wish it was that good. We wish it was that
Troy.
good.
Bravo. Well played, sir.
I've been holding on to that through the whole thing here.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're saying Dr. Ball from Robot Chicken. Oh, yes. Yeah, you're right. That is definitely on it.
Dr. Ball. Painted white.
Logan's Run. Yeah. Logan turns out.
It's an easy bake centrifuge.
Practicing doctorate in LBGTQ and sometimes Y. MOUSC. It's an easy bake challenge. Yes, indeed. It is indeed.
Well, Logan's Run had Jenny Agutter, so yeah, of course.
Logan's Run, baby. Oh boy. All right, we got to back up because we have to get to. No, we got to get through this first. We skipped a piece here. We got
right.
Don't make me do it, Marty.
And again,
don't make me do it.
This would have been the Epsilon uprising in Brave New World.
Right.
So what is happening? I want to try to get it because there's a close up. I think there it is.
We're gonna push the red button. It's always the red button.
I feel like this is like my grandkids playing a game in the house,
and
it's like this is the kind of stuff they would come up with. What pops? If you touch the cash register, it's gonna. It's like it literally is like this cheeky. Like what on earth? This is not. Like you push the Staples button and the droids stop running. Like, and then we do a walk of shame. So we have to do a walk
Well,
of shame. Oh wait, before that, okay.
Realize
Sorry.
there was a change up there because earlier he said if we hit the red button, it shuts down all the droids and society falls apart. Now if we hit the red button, it activates all of the battle droids and they start killing everybody. So which is it?
Right.
And here it doesn't even look like there's shots like this one where it doesn't quite look like Christopher Lloyd, like it's just getting to be that time.
And then
hard to handle.
And then I guess he's a separatist who is a big Dooku fan, and he's for democracy, which is again like the 5th time we've heard that word. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Nope. None of the humans are on board with you, by the way, dude. I mean, I don't want to be the jerk to be the one to tell you that you may be the only separatist in this planet, but reality is all of the Wally chair dwellers that are in that little room,
they are living in that new republic.
The LGBTQ PhD scientists running that microwave. No one cares about you, man. You are a lone wolf terrorist. Yeah. Oh, so before we get to the walk, I forgot about that shot where he's ranting and raving about Count Dooku, and they're playing ball. This is what's happening. This is quite literally Queen of Hearts from like Alice in Wonderland. The way they have this set up. There you go.
And Goku is helping her cheat.
Right.
Yeah. There's little Grogu at her feet. Look, oh, Lizzo is dialed in. She's dialed in like a lady boss would be. I like it. If I throw this to those things, I get a Snickers bar.
I totally got a what's it called? The Queen of Hearts vibe here, off with their heads.
100%. It's literally like Alice in Wonderland. Absolutely, 100%. What's that? Wait, he wants some sharks to freaking laser something.
Yeah. Laser beams on
lasers.
Yes.
This is what the Force has been reduced to.
Yeah, cheating at a croquet game.
Yeah. So we get
lawn bowling. Great.
Yeah. So and she knights little baby Yoda
and gives them a key to the city.
You will always be welcome in our domed paradise.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't really planning on ever coming back, but thanks.
No, I don't.
It's not really gonna fit in my pocket, you know.
All right, so we have to get through this ridiculous.
What are you doing with Commissioner Hellgate? We found the cause of your malfunctions.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Like, I don't understand, Shaggy.
This is true. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Oh, Marty.
Jinkies.
I'm afraid it is, my lady.
I'm afraid it's true, Marty. We're trapped on this planet.
Gomez. Oh, you and Morticia have such. I'm jealous.
Despicable.
What was it called? What's the dance? The mamushka? We must now settle this with a dance of the mamushka, Jack Black, and they start whipping into a dance. Oh, that would have been. See, if we're going to do it, we need to go all in, Jack Black. Mamushka.
If that isn't the quacta calling the stifling slimy.
Okay, that's a callback to the season finale of season 2. We still don't know what those things are.
Right.
I don't get any of those. You know, at least I know what bantha fodder is. Like it was very easy as a child to understand what, punta. Yeah, it was easy to figure out what some of these things were. And then this guy's talking, and I got the word slimy. It's all I got. I got nothing. Anyway, so we go through the spiel. And Snickers bar lady plays croquet, Queen of Hearts. What'd you say, Troy?
No, I was just laughing at what you were saying. Snickers bar lady.
Yeah. Fisher thought there was a key to the Falcon. And Jack Blood says, "You, sir, do not rock." Yes, that is very, very true.
Follow you.
Back on the monorail. Yep.
And Din's being the good, supportive friend. Well, you're their leader. They're going to follow you. Of course they are. And Bo's like, no, they're not.
I'm not their leader anymore.
Then what's your plan?
Yep. Don't know what I'm going to do. I got no plan.
Well, and Netter can tell you, I called it because I said there's only one possible play here.
Right.
She's like, yeah, she's got to challenge him. I'm like,
which as they're doing the camp, as they're in the little camp out in the park there, I'm like, where do they sleep? Do they sleep
in their ships? Probably
on the ships. I'm sure that's cool. But I could have swore I saw two Mandos like playing catch, like they had gloves and they're ready.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Shut up! No, they were not. I thought I totally spaced on that. Oh wow, that is just
wow.
To me, the whole thing like a giant picnic scene.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what it was. These are
Red Fair. It's like a Red Fair.
The people in the writing room are all people that have worked at Renaissance fairs. That's what this scene was.
This is Occupy Plaisir 15. Is what this is.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
And by the way, I know I say it so many times, but there's Baby Yoda floating around. His little purse puppy has a little floating carriage. It's just so freaking irritating and stupid that it's remotely relevant. Why don't you just leave him with the Snickers lady? He likes it there. He's getting free fish. Leave him alone.
I will say, though.
Should have stayed with Luke Skywalker.
Well, there's that. I would also say, though, that, if I had a kid and, I had the option to have him in a metal pram that closed in case of danger, I'd be good with that, especially living as close as I do to Chicago. Just saying.
Okay, there we go. It's the Troy pram. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So it just gets sort of like silly because it's like it's not horrible to see them fight. However, there is one moment. No, it's when they go up on top. I think it's when they're on top. I don't think it's horrible in this first phase.
Oh, when she falls and the whipcord that's around his neck.
The punch is not even close. Like it's just it was just so ridiculously bad. Yeah.
But some of these, like that kick, looked like it really did connect.
Yeah, all of this was not the problem. There's one shot or two. I think it's when they're on top of the thing. It's when we're up high.
Oh, the wing.
Yeah.
Well, the one shot was pretty clever, where she's got a hold of him and he makes his pack go off, so they fly up and then land on the wing.
Yeah, there was a lot of. This is how I would expect them to fight.
Now that makes sense. Now they're here, so they're on the nose. And then he knocks her off, and then the whipcords around his neck.
Yeah,
that was the punch. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
And then she does this, and as she falls, and the minute the whipcords around his neck, just the force of that, his neck is done.
It should, yeah.
Well, they land in this armor and stuff. It's like that. He lands on his back, on the jetpack. It would hurt so bad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Having that slammed into your spine like that. Ugh.
Ow.
All right, so
do you yield? Do you yield?
Yeah, so she obviously is going to win. There's not even a question that she was going to win.
No time did he say he yielded?
Well,
yeah, it was fine.
It also becomes very clear. It's not really just what he says. It's what everyone around perceives. When they perceive she won, she won.
Right.
Enough Mandalorian blood has been spilled by your own hands.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I don't hate that part.
No.
That part was fine.
Yeah.
Because then we have to get silly, like, she can't be the leader because she doesn't have the dark saber.
And
blah,
this
blah,
guy
blah.
and this guy doesn't have a drop of Mandalorian blood. He's not even pure. So we got this more.
Yeah, Muggle Mandalorian doesn't even count. He shouldn't even have the saber. Blah blah blah. He's a Muggle. So
Would it not belong to her?
So he goes on a spiel of, well, 3 episodes ago she saved my life.
Okay. And Mando has just become Sabine Wren. Because in the same fashion, Sabine, through a little loophole of logic, gives Bo the dark saber. Now, Din does the exact same thing, and Mandalorians are gullible. They are gullible. I'm just going to say it because when Bo told the armorer, no, I saw the mythosaur. No, I really did. The very next episode, so you saw a mythosaur. Well, this means that we have new signs and everything. And now Din is like, well, I was there when she did the thing with the thing. You all have no idea if I'm lying or not, but just because I'm saying it, it makes it true.
But in fairness, look at it from the point of view of the audience. I mean, the Mandalorians that are there.
They don't like Bo. They don't like Bo. So.
No, they don't. But they also don't like Din. And if Din is carrying the Darksaber and he's saying, look, she beat me fair and square, I'm just giving it back to her. Who would say that if it wasn't true? Because you're literally giving up your claim to be leader.
I want to clarify because he didn't say that she beat him. What he's saying is, I lost. Right. It was like ipso facto. I lost to this being. So the being technically would have the right for the ownership of the Darksaber, but then she beats the being, so therefore she gets the Darksaber. It's like ipso facto. This is how we're going to pass. It's just a contrived way, just like a helmet. This is the way, except when Lady Boss said otherwise. You have to go through this battle to get over the Darksaber, unless we come up with this story that no one was there to see except for us. It's like,
But as an audience, we know that it is not the Darksaber that makes him a leader, and it is not the mask that makes him a Mandalorian. But they have to go through all these traditions in order to get to the reality of it.
But
this is real world politics, really.
But my problem is these are folks who don't like Din and don't like Bo.
Right.
So just because Din, who y'all don't like me, just because I say something happened, all of a sudden that is now true. You're like, oh, okay, then that makes sense. Then okay, it's fine. Bo can have the Darksaber. She's the leader now, and we're all gonna just follow along. No, I'm not buying that. That makes no sense to me. That is not a logical step to take.
See, this is one of those fine points where Mr. J and I disagree. We still agree on the broad points, but this one isn't a hill I'm going to die on. With all the other problems we have out there, I don't really have a big problem with this.
I think I agree with Joker in the sense of the writers are taking advantage that the audience knows something that the characters wouldn't know and have to just take at face value. And it's pretty unbelievable that these mercenaries would take that at face value. Right. That's, I think, where they're trying to say. Now,
but this is also coming right after that. She did
just beat him.
One,
one guy.
She definitely won fair and square. Nobody can argue that.
Fair enough.
If you want to quibble about Darksabers, then he's going to bring up the quibble. And
again, I think it's just the way it's all written. It's just a big muddled mess to get. We want to get to this end result, and they just run stuff, and they don't. No one in the room raises their hand and says,
"Wait, hold on, this doesn't make any sense."
The real way to have dealt with this was 2 episodes ago when four episodes ago when Din picks it up and goes, "This isn't mine anymore. It's yours fair and square."
Yep.
Yeah, that's when it should have happened.
And then it would have made more sense with the saber and the helmet. You could have at least had some better, stronger footing to justify why.
And it would have made more sense for the armorer to believe the what do you call it?
The mythosaur
thing. Oh,
right. And
not only
a pass to not wear the helmet. Like you also have the Darksaber. Like you really are the leader then that they're supposed to follow. Like, okay, I got it. Like me requiring you to wear the helmet, even though because you have the dark saber.
But you still have the problem of they hadn't gotten the character up to the point of being able to do that. It wasn't until she was still in this episode. Oh, they're not going to follow me. I'm not their leader anymore. You know, they didn't build up her character yet. So there's a lot of problems that they should have.
All we would have to do is just re-edit all of this in a different order. And it really, just like Andor.
This should have been episode 3. This should have been
trim it all down, reorganize it, and sorry about Jack Black. You're probably going to be on some cutting room floor, my friend. I'm not a fan of this whole sequence, but
and Lizzo both.
I can make it work enough so we can keep things moving, not have to deal with some of that. But anyway, so that's definitely the way this plays out before we get to the magical moment. Move in, cut.
Which I am surprised. That Dave did not have her do the pose that Bo did in that episode of Rebels, holding it victoriously above her head.
Yeah.
And this is where we get to just take a moment to give Zach some credit, because these stills,
this artwork is gorgeous.
Yep.
That is a beautiful piece of work.
Yes.
And I gotta be, even the Epcot Center, well, it's obviously the Epcot Center.
Right.
Holy crap. If you're gonna remodel the Epcot Center dome,
there you go. Now these things I would hang on walls, all the walls of my house.
Yeah. All right, hang on here. Nope. Oh, that'll work. Okay, that works.
There we go.
Restream's just in different places. For those of you who don't know, Restream, all the buttons in different places and things just look a little different. But again, I love the fact that it has a dark mode. This has been a game changer. So at least the only light in my glasses is if I have this piece and stuff all wrong versus the light from here, which is a problem when I'm doing some of my videos. I don't really have a script, but I'll have like some outline and some notes. I try not to misspeak on names, things like that. So I have to keep my glasses on. So I get distracted, but at least it's better like this. So I know paper. I know. I can't do it because I'm nowhere. I can't. Yeah. Now. Well, guys, that's it. I'm not doing more Mandalorian. I mean, I'll do the review and stuff like that, but it's like I didn't have it in me because I had 2 videos set for tomorrow. I have like a Throwback Thursday double feature because I have like my normal movie. I'm doing Passion of the Christ. Okay. Which is an interesting, at least, take, because my take on it has dramatically changed from the first time I watched it to now. And then I did a TV one because I've been rewatching a TV show called Soap.
Oh, wow, yeah. Soap! Wow,
it is free on Tubi, and it is a glorious fun ride. It is so inappropriate and fun. It will bring you joy and happiness. And Zach's, I'm sorry, my brother. It's an editing issue for me. I just can't get there. Yeah. We're kind of in the camp where we could have taken 9 episodes and made it 6. And that finale was just so fluffy, full of issues. I just can't get there with you where I can say I liked it.
Nope.
I can just say it's in the same category with this show. It's just like it's this generic stuff thrown together, tons of issues.
And a lot of folks will not admit to this, and then a lot of folks will not acknowledge this, but this is the damage that Kenobi series has done. Because Andor suffered because of it.
I think
tremendously.
Andor also had the same problem that Solo did and that the Black Widow movie did. When you kill off a character and then go back and do a prequel, it's like, why do I care? I know where this is going.
Correct. Yeah, stakes are completely gone. And I did point this out because I did a little review of a TV show that Left Eye Ego recommended called Resident Alien. It's a sci-fi show.
Oh, yeah.
And these shows get pitched where somebody that's in charge is the one pitching it. He gets to write episodes 1 and 2 and maybe the finale. And that's what happened. Those are the good episodes. That actually works. And in Andor, it's like the beginning has Tony Gilroy's fingerprints all over it. Then, he let his brother do some work, but all these other fill-in people. Ooh, I just slammed it in the microphone. Sorry, folks. It's just mediocre at best. Like, it's all over the map. And that's why I was so surprised with Mando season 3 that Favreau's name is like across the board. So I'm like, dude, use a whiteboard, you take some notes, got some timelines, something. What are you doing, man? This is nuts. It's so bad. Ugh, I don't know. I do have a question for the Bocellis. Like, who lets who off the hook of when they have to stop watching a show?
Oh, good question.
We haven't. The only thing that we ever I felt struggled with was Walking Dead, but that was just because we both assumed that the other one wanted to see it. And there finally came an episode where I said to Netter, I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. And she's like, oh, I'm only watching it for you. And we quit watching it.
Okay, fair enough.
I like it.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah, it's like the only other time we stop watching something is like, let's say that we were watching it late at night and it's like, I really need to go to bed. Can we watch this tomorrow?
Yeah, if it's a show we like. But no, we're pretty much in sync. I mean, come on, 30 years of marriage, you're gonna get
plus like watching The Walking Dead, Troy had read the comics and he goes, this is totally veered off of the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't carry on. But
what was that show with the vampire? True Blood.
Yeah.
He had read the books.
That went off the rails quick.
Yeah.
And then when it started veering off so much, it was like,
you're not making an adaptation anymore.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying this. He's like, fine with me, and we just stopped watching it.
Oh, what was it? I told Pops this the other day. I was just surfing through something, and I came across the original 1978 Battlestar Galactica theme. So I just played that. So I just played that. I started getting misty-eyed, and I'm like, oh my God, this was so good.
Yeah. The Star Wars stuff and the Indiana Jones stuff for me has kind of been set to the side for a while. I don't need any more black eyes, and I don't. It's like being angry at your kid. I just don't want to make things worse right now. I just need a vacation from you. It's been replaced. It's been replaced by Superman 78, the John Williams theme.
Oh, yes.
The Battlestar theme. It's been replaced by these certain things that some really old cheesy, like I've gone back to like cheesy 80s music, like Fleetwood Mac and Journey. And I've just been embracing some of that stuff instead. Like it's my surrogate replacement.
Okay. So then Pops, let me recommend Adega. What's up, Mad Doctor?
Adega Outlaw, brother. Oh man. This was a random. I don't want to Adega. This is literally me going, I don't want to record and edit a video. I'm just going to do this as a live stream. And it's only because I had also heard this story. So if you go back to the very beginning of this, I cover a little bit of this interview that Favreau had given. And he basically falls on the sword and basically takes complete ownership of this nightmare, Mando season 3. That's how this all happened. So there was I don't think I even posted on Twitter. It was literally me trying to figure out how to make it all sync up properly in time to just be done with it. So that's kind of why this happened, brother. So you are always welcome, though.
So I was saying that you should check out a channel, Film Symphony Orchestra.
I've been there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they got the Superman, the Jurassic Park, and just this grand full symphony. And I can listen to Superman on a loop. And
I have it. I've downloaded. I've been working. If I had an editor, we'd already have parodies of Superman stuff because I have the Superman theme in kazoo on the recorder.
Oh no!
I think there's there's a whistler. I have like 4 or 5 different versions of this thing because it's so much fun. And Jurassic Park for me is huge because my grandson's in dinosaurs.
Right.
So we're constantly watching dinosaur scenes. Could care less about the movie. Could care less about the story. Just here's some dinosaurs. That's all he cares for. And just like my boys, he cheers for the dinosaurs to kill and eat everybody. That's exactly what my boys do.
Well, I will definitely say that the first time I saw Jurassic Park is kind of in the same place as Star Wars. I remember where I was the first time and then seeing that Brachiosaurus come on the screen. It's just my jaw is on the floor.
It's okay, man. You're fine. I'm in my 20s, and I was the same experience, man.
Likewise.
The balm.
It's okay, ZBR. No judgment.
Was a couple weeks back when everyone was talking about the Shazam movie. I pulled out my old Filmation Shazam, chosen from among all others of the immortal elders Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury.
Yeah.
Billy Batson and his mentor travel the highways and byways of the land on a never-ending mission to right wrongs.
And what show came on right after that?
Almighty Isis.
Yes.
Oh, Joanna Cameron. Oh my God. Oh
wow. That is.
Yeah, nowadays they would cast Brie Larson.
No, they actually casted her in.
Yes, you're right. They did.
Black Adam.
Guess what though? We're not going to be seeing a movie with her in it now.
Nope.
Oh, I thought I had. See, I included a Shazam piece in one of the Saturday morning cartoon bits, but I don't think I saved it as its own. I don't think I saved it as its own segment, so I'll have to go and cut it again to get it out. So I was going to put that. I was going to put that in.
Shazam.
That was. So what did I do when I opened the show? I opened the show with this one.
Mattel introduces the Battlestar Galactica collection. You can imagine the world of Battlestar Galactica, where the Cylon Raider meets the Colonial Viper starship you assemble.
Colonial Viper pilot ready for takeoff. Cylons approaching. Check stabilizers. Load laser torpedo. Cylon Raider missile base open. Cylon Raider launch. Colonial Viper launch.
Colonial Viper and Cylon Raider vehicles from the Battlestar Galactica collection, each sold separately. New from Mattel.
Best.
I had those toys, and I remember that Sears would give you credits if you brought in the missiles because the
kid shot the one in his
Did you know that there is a crafter out there? I think he's on Etsy, who is making those in scale for the 3 3/4 inch action figures that we never got. Yes.
Yeah, I had a Viper, and I had just lost them,
yeah.
and was just like, So these are my other two commercials for but we're not going to close. We're just having fun doing this at the end. So
right.
I had this, and I actually just loved this as a kid. I don't know why this tickled me so much as a little kid, but I love this kind of stuff.
Yep.
Introducing the new Play-Doh Mop Top Hair Shop. Well, they're the mop tops, the Play-Doh mop tops. Just turn the chair. They grow Play-Doh hair. They're the mop tops. You can comb it, wave it, style it, or shave it. The Play-Doh mop tops.
You can let it grow down to his toes.
They're the mop tops.
From the Play-Doh Mop Top
Hair Shop. The Play-Doh Mop Top Hair Shop, sold with everything you see here. New from Kenner.
Yep, I remember that too.
Kenner toys. Wow.
Yeah, man. There's some OG stuff that's out there, and I don't know if I told you, Troy, because we were talking about Banana Splits. Banana Splits was sponsored, like it was basically paid for by Kellogg's.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, every other commercial is cereal, but it was like, oh wow, they were like totally in bed, like totally things. So, and Adega, you were not old, bro. You were amongst your own here, my brother.
Right.
Yeah, we're all contemporaries here, my friend.
Yeah, this is not. There's no judgment. I mean, I had the Viper and lost the toys.
Club right here.
Yep.
This is a little bit older. I mean, sorry, this is a little bit newer. This is actually 89. This is one I kind of saved for Loki because this will be in his sweet spot.
USS Flag aircraft carrier. Imagine being on the deck of this aircraft carrier.
The USS Flag is fantastic! It's so big! Over here! Middle launch station! Get ready to launch aircraft! Where's the Admiral? Not here! G.I. Joe! Fire! Beast on Cobra! Yo, Joe!
G.I. Joe USS Flag aircraft carrier comes with what you see here. Other figures and equipment sold separately.
That thing was ginormous.
Yes, we were just at a buddy's house last weekend who has that because he was into it as a kid, and then his kids got into G.I. Joe, so he went out and got him a flag.
I mean, I remember the largest toys, something that I had as a kid. Remember the Death Star, the Kenner Death Star, the three levels?
Yeah,
that was it. That USS Flag blew that out of the water as far as just size.
I wanted a Star Destroyer that size. They never did that.
We can't fit one in our house, dear.
I know.
You
The thing would have
have
been
the
so
Falcon,
That's
massive.
why.
the sail barge.
That's why you hang it on the ceiling.
Well, this is why. This is why my Millennium Falcon was always so battered. Is because these things were big and heavy, and as a little kid, I would drop this thing and crack it. You know, it's like I
They
remember
held up pretty well, though, didn't they? Better than
Yeah,
they
it
had
took a
any
while.
right to.
Yeah. So let's see what else I got loaded already. See, I did G.I. Joe. Oh, this is one of the cereal ones. This is a two-parter. So it's Cocoa Puffs and Lucky Charms.
Oh yeah.
The news today. Kids all over America are going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, the big chocolatey puffs that go crunch. The crunchy part of this complete breakfast. In the public library, Matthew Murphy crunched into those big chocolatey puffs. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Just in from Alaska, Eskimo Ed is about to crunch. Ed's igloo is a disaster area, and that's the way it is with Cocoa Puffs, the big chocolatey puffs that go crunch. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Lucky's hiding down one of his colorful roads with his delicious Lucky Charms.
Which road? Hearts, stars, moons, clovers, diamonds, horseshoes? Lucky, we need a clue.
Just take the road of the charm that grows.
Grows? Green clovers grow. Let's go! Yikes, got 'em! Love these marshmallowy Lucky Charms. How did this complete breakfast?
Smart kids. I'll send you a real four-leaf clover charm with your name on it free with 2 proofs of purchase.
I don't remember that. Wow.
I remember a time before there was purple horseshoes.
Yeah. These are not the old ones. These are from the late 80s and early 90s. So yeah, Shield, well, you're amongst your own here, bro. Yeah, Zach's. Yeah, we're amongst it.
Oh yeah.
Wanted a flag. Yeah, totally understand.
How much did it cost? I don't know, but it's pretty darn expensive today.
I don't know about the flag. So here's how. So I obviously, being as poor as we were, I would never been able to get a Millennium Falcon. I visited one of my grandmothers for the first time. I never met her, and I was actually a teenager. So this was right around the time Jedi was going to come out.
Okay.
So I was that old.
83-ish.
Right. So I was probably 12. Roughly.
Right.
So she gave me a birthday card for every year and gave me $1 for every year. So for my first birthday, I got a $1 bill, then a $2 bill, and a $3. So all of that money combined.
That adds up. Yeah.
That's how I got the Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
I remember it very vividly. And I remember dropping it and a piece had popped off. I think it was like one of the little, I mean, I got it to work and you could kind of finagle and whatever, but yeah, that thing was massive. So that the idea of having a Star Destroyer that would be this much, I mean, I can't even imagine. It would have been so cool though. So
well, I remember seeing, I don't remember if it was, someone did a video that showed that the AT-AT.
Oh, wow. That must be the flag. Yeah, that's about right. $100.
Yeah. The AT-AT was like
AT.
Oh no, it's an AT-AT to us for old.
Want to, but every other person in the world calls it an AT-AT because that's what they called it in the commercial, dude.
All-terrain assault transport. It's an AT.
It's an AT-AT. If you can
Kool-Aid
say the acronym, you
commercials.
say the
That's so
acronym.
funny.
Well,
but it was like $20 at the time, which I remember being really expensive at the time. Now I'm going $20 is what you spend on an action figure now.
Right, but I only say that because then you got the Scout Walker and you don't call those an ATST.
Right, because it's not an acronym you can pronounce. If it's an acronym you can pronounce, you do. Look at the military; they pronounce all their acronyms.
I would rather not.
You do you, man. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, that is kind of where we'll have to wrap so I can take a nap. I have Wakazashi's Tea House will be in with me. We'll be recording a video in a few hours, and I'll be on with Loki a few hours after that. So a lot of fun stuff going on. But I am happy that so many of you joined to suffer with me through Mandalorian, because this was kind of a turning point episode for me where just I literally was just like, oh, all right, okay, we're not going to get any better. Like, it's just,
why do we have 2 more episodes coming? What else is there to, they've already resolved the whole Darksaber and
because they have to set up Ahsoka.
Good point.
Well, I'm going to say we have had how many allusions to Moff Gideon, and I don't think he's actually been in anything. So there's got to be some relevant.
They've been talking about Thrawn for 3 seasons now.
I think what might happen is now that you've got this united Mandalorian, Gideon is going to attack Navarro, and he's under orders from Thrawn, and Ahsoka shows up. Who knows? And then Grogu
They have to
decides.
steal Grogu or something, because they've gone out of their way to keep him around and make Bo attached to it now. Like Bo starts to like it now too. There has to be something, otherwise it's just even more absurd that we've traveled the universe with this thing. It makes no sense whatsoever. But,
I
know. Anyway, so yeah, no, this is awful. Anyway, so any of you are watching, this was very impromptu. I appreciate you guys even hanging out, coming by. I will try to remember to go back and put everybody's links and crap in the description, because I think it's always cool to do that. So we'll try to remember to do that. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. Netter, it was awesome to have you on for the first time. Thank you so much, lady.
I enjoyed being here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to have everybody
It was
here.
worth
Thank you, guys.
suffering through Mandalorian for.
Well, it's definitely better like this than it is, just the fact that we have to just do it. It's just like, at least we could go through the suffering together and kind of joke. Yeah. Like I said, Halo become Mystery Science Theater, right? So it's like, we can kind of turn and kind of go roll through it with this, and make Lizzo the Snickers lady, the Snickers queen. It just kind of works for me. So yeah. So anyway, so thanks everybody. Yeah, there's still comments going. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, that's something that, since everyone was destroyed in the transporting of Moff Gideon, is this how they kill Cara Dune off screen? And
could be, yeah. Could be.
Oh my gosh, that's so painful to even remember, think about. So, but anyway, thanks again. Thanks to you guys. It's been awesome. I appreciate it so much.
Pleasure.
And thanks for everything, everybody out there. I appreciate you guys. Anyway, I'm just going to sign off. I'm not going to go through more video. I drove you guys crazy with all my commercials. You guys take care. Thank you again so much.
Bye, everyone.